Ignis attacks, forcing Kale and Lyra into a desperate battle. Thorn and Riven respond, while Celine's minions stir chaos. Subscribe to Turmoil Studio to follow the story. The chamber unfolded into a void that seemed to stretch beyond comprehension, golden and shadowed threads twisting and spiraling into fractals that pulsed with awareness. Each vibration carried intelligence, responding to the hero's motions, their intent, their cohesion. Kael stepped lightly, fingertips grazing filaments, sending ripples that radiated through the lattice. Lyra mirrored him, halo arcs weaving protective energy around trembling strands. "It's alive," she whispered, fully awake, observing, yet not fully welcoming us. From above, the Dragon Anomaly hovered, massive wings spanning impossible angles. Molten-gold scales caught the fractured light, scattering it across prisms that rotated endlessly, reflecting patterns of impossible geometry. Tendrils extended into the lattice, probing every pulse, every subtle micro-decision the team made. Sparks flared where Alaric had previously interfered, shadows striking unpredictably, testing focus. Riven ignited gauntlets of fire, bracing collapsing nodes. "Every motion counts. Stabilize. Or fail," he growled. Thorn crouched, tracing hidden resonances along vibrating strands. "Observe, anticipate, integrate. Every misstep is recorded in her memory." Nyx slid through shadows, daggers glinting, bending threads unpredictably. "You rely on light and fire," she hissed. "I exploit gaps." Kael extended hands in perfect synchronization with Lyra. "We act as one. Observe patterns. Respond with intent, not reaction." As Nyx struck filaments, sparks erupted, and the dragon's tendrils twisted, counteracting interference while reinforcing the lattice's integrity. Thalassa projected radiant arcs of intent. Cassandra translated micro-vibrations into deliberate signals. "Every interference is input," Thorn noted. "The anomaly learns from us all, including Nyx." Threads bent violently, spiraling into multiple layers of challenge. Kael and Lyra synchronized pulses, weaving coherent patterns that mirrored the dragon's tendrils. Riven braced unstable nodes with fire. Thorn traced hidden resonances. Thalassa projected sequences of radiant intent. Cassandra translated subtle micro-oscillations into deliberate alignment. Nyx's unpredictable movements introduced complexity, disrupting some nodes while inadvertently reinforcing others. "Recursive," Lyra said. "Every solution alters the next problem. Feedback is instantaneous. The anomaly learns as we act." Golden and shadowed threads folded into multi-dimensional puzzles. The dragon mirrored each team motion, wings brushing nodes, tendrils probing deeper layers. "Observe her mirroring," Cassandra whispered. "She tests synthesis, how we integrate perception, intent, and action simultaneously." The team adjusted instantly, integrating each response into the collective pulse. "We're conversing now, not navigating," Kael said. "Every gesture, every pulse, every choice, a sentence in her language." False pathways appeared, spirals of shadow threatening collapse. Thalassa's radiant arcs intertwined with Cassandra's micro-vibrations, stabilizing threads, allowing Kael and Lyra to advance safely. "She differentiates understanding from mere motion," Lyra observed. "Intent matters more than speed or strength." Nyx paused, watching the synchronized pulses. "They speak her language through coherence," she murmured. "I act, but they adapt faster." Kael extended a hand, sending pulses into the lattice. "We act as a system, not individuals. Each pulse must reflect awareness, intent, cohesion." The lattice responded instantly. Nodes shifted, tendrils adjusted. The dragon's eyes glimmered with recognition. "Partial comprehension achieved," Thorn noted. "She observes deeper layers, now Nyx included." The anomaly escalated the challenge. A multi-node spiral appeared, requiring simultaneous stabilization, comprehension, and predictive insight. Sparks of shadow erupted unpredictably. "Think recursively," Lyra said. "Every solution alters the next challenge." Riven braced collapsing threads, while fire pulses reinforced unstable nodes. Thalassa guided radiant signals. Cassandra translated micro-changes into deliberate intent, and Nyx's unpredictable paths became part of the evolving dialogue. Even chaos contributes, Kael said. Integration is adaptation, not control. The lattice responded to each pulse, folding spirals into stable forms, collapsing false leads, revealing hidden paths. She tests initiative and synthesis simultaneously, Lyra observed. Every gesture is assessed for intent and alignment. Above the central node cluster, the dragon hovered, wings fanning, tendrils pulsing, observing every dimension of action. She evaluates cohesion, Thalassa whispered. The heroes synchronized fully. Kael and Lyra stabilizing flows, Riven bracing nodes with fire, Thorn tracing resonances, Thalassa projecting radiant intent, Cassandra translating micro-vibrations, and Nyx adding unpredictable motion. Every pulse is dialogue, Lyra said. Every choice, every adaptation, a conversation. The lattice folded spirals into coherent patterns. Integration complete, Thorn said. She recognizes us as a conscious system. The dragon's tendrils extended to touch all 6 members simultaneously. First threshold achieved, Kael said. Next stage will test recursive insight and intent. Golden and shadowed threads coiled around the heroes, lifting them into a newly revealed corridor. The dragon's molten-gold scales shimmered with curiosity and challenge. We've passed her first test, Lyra whispered, but she learns faster than we anticipate. Thalassa's gestures intertwined with the dragon's tendrils. Cassandra's microsignals reinforced the alignment. Nyx's unpredictable motions now part of a shared dialogue. Kael stepped toward the central node, fingertips brushing its pulsating surface. Next threshold approaches. Every pulse from here shapes not just us, but her evolution. The dragon's eyes glimmered, reflecting 6 layers of intent, awareness, and cohesion. This is the beginning of sentient collaboration, Lyra said. Our dialogue now shapes the network itself. Riven's gauntlets flared, casting fiery shadows across collapsing nodes. Then we push forward, he growled. Test her limits while she tests ours. Each beat of fire along the lattice was a question and an answer, a dialogue in energy. Thorn crouched, fingertips brushing hidden resonances, feeling the subtle layering beneath the visible threads. It isn't chaos, he said. It's structured intelligence. Every distortion, every fluctuation, is a test of perception and synthesis. Nyx darted along a shadowed filament, her movements sharp and unpredictable. She's reactive, yes, but not blind to unpredictability, Nyx whispered, smirking. Watch what happens when I destabilize a single node. She slashed through a subtle junction, a tiny spark erupting. Tendrils immediately coiled toward her, analyzing, compensating, folding the lattice around the disruption. Every act, every misstep, every bold choice is cataloged, Thalassa observed, her hands weaving radiant arcs that merged with the anomaly's pulses. She's not punishing, she's teaching through reflection. Cassandra's eyes traced micro-oscillations along multiple nodes simultaneously. The anomaly differentiates intent from impulse, she murmured. Even Nyx's unpredictability contributes to the greater comprehension. The network is growing through us, and we through it. She projected subtle vibrations into a peripheral node. The lattice rippled in response, pulses extending outward in delicate fractal patterns, forming transient bridges over collapsing threads. Our decisions are shaping emergent structure, Cassandra added, and she is feeding it back instantaneously. Kael exhaled sharply, stepping onto a filament that quivered with latent energy. Then, let's act not as individuals, but as a living system, he said. Every thought, gesture, pulse, aligned and synchronized. Lyra, guide intent. Riven, brace instability. Thorn, trace resonance. Thalassa, Cassandra, communicate perception. Nyx, disrupt and provoke insight. The dragon tilted her head, molten gold scales catching the prismatic reflections of the lattice. Wings coiled gracefully, tendrils weaving, probing, and folding around the team's combined signals. She is testing multi-dimensional perception, Lyra said, voice steady yet awed. Every layer, every signal, every deviation, she interprets as dialogue, not just movement, but comprehension. A surge of shadowed nodes erupted from the central nexus, twisting into spirals that threatened to fracture the lattice. Riven launched fire pulses into collapsing segments, stabilizing long enough for Kale and Lyra to synchronize arcs of golden light along the main filament. Thorn pressed fingertips to subtle vibrations, adjusting their rhythm. "Observe the feedback loop," he said. "Every input is mirrored, expanded, and projected back." She measures adaptability. Nyx slept along a shadowed filament, her daggers tracing impossible paths. "Even chaos has purpose here," she said with a grin. Sparks ignited where her blades touched, and the lattice twisted around them, forming stable yet unpredictable arcs. "Each disruption is integration in disguise," Thalassa murmured, projecting radiant pulses that intertwined with the dragon's tendrils, nudging Nyx's movements into coherent patterns without suppressing her uniqueness. Cassandra traced micro-oscillations along adjacent nodes. "She distinguishes individual contribution from collective intent," Cassandra noted. "She evaluates synthesis, not control. Every subtle gesture matters as much as the large ones. Watch the reflections in the lattice. Patterns emerge, collapse, and reform in response to us." The dragon's eyes glimmered brighter. Tendrils extended, touching multiple nodes simultaneously, probing each team member's pulse. "She is testing recursion," Thorn whispered. "Every solution alters subsequent challenges. Every adaptation is a new input. We are now part of her evolution, and she of ours." Golden arcs shifted, creating corridors that were simultaneously inviting and treacherous. "She is not a gatekeeper," Lyra said softly. "She is an interlocutor. Every step, every pulse, is conversation." Kale's hand brushed the central filament again, sending deliberate waves of intent into the lattice. "Then we proceed," he said. "Not to conquer, but to communicate, to integrate, to teach, and to learn." A cascade of pulses spiraled outward, illuminating fractal bridges over seemingly empty voids. The dragon's wings arched higher, brushing against multiple nodes at once, sending cascading ripples through shadowed filaments. "Observe," Thalassa whispered. "She challenges comprehension under ambiguity. Every response must account for layers unseen." Nyx's unpredictable motions intersected with Riven's fire-stabilized nodes. Sparks flared, arcs bent, and yet the lattice responded coherently. "Even disruption is instruction," Riven said, adjusting his pulses to compensate. "Every micro-decision carries macro weight." The central node shimmered, projecting three-dimensional strands of pure energy. "First recursive test," Thorn said. "We are being asked not just to act, but to predict consequences of our own understanding." Kael, Lyra, Riven, Thorn, Thalassa, Cassandra, and Nyx moved as a single conscious system, pulses flowing, arcs weaving, fire bracing instability, gestures communicating comprehension. "Every action is dialogue, every hesitation is information," Kale said. "We respond with awareness, unity, and intent." The dragon's tendrils weaved intricate patterns across the lattice, shaping, probing, and reflecting the team's inputs. "She is guiding without dictating," Lyra observed. "Every choice is evaluated for coherence, alignment, and insight."